Hi, my name is Dr. Azizi Seixas. I'm the interim chair for the Department of Informatics and Health Data Science and founding director of the Media and Innovation Lab. And I'm really excited to be speaking to you about AI, the great equalizer for the global south. One of the things that we're aware of is that there are significant challenges that impact most of our globe, but particularly in the global south. Public safety issues, healthcare issues, agricultural issues, as well as education, climate, and commerce. But what we also recognize is that in trying to address many of these challenges, most of these countries, particularly in the global south, have issues with limited access, potential for growth where isn't too much of that. And therefore, oftentimes they are unable to meet the same or have the same amount of resources as their global north counterparts. And so, in addition to that, one of the other challenges that they face that has to do with the cost of development. There's a significant knowledge gap, as well as other forms of technological barriers. But what if there is a solution, a technology that could serve as an equalizer, whereby it would address the six aforementioned challenges that would help global South nations to address many of the challenges that I mentioned around healthcare and cost and commerce? And artificial intelligence serves as such, where it is a transformative solution that can offer opportunities to overcome long-standing challenges. And what we have to be able to do is how is it that global South nations can, in many ways, see themselves as leaders in the space? So instead of seeing themselves as users, my hope is that I will share and convince you that global South nations can be producers of AI, not just in terms of AI applications across a variety of different sectors, from healthcare to education to agriculture. But my hope is that you will understand that global South nations can actually be producers in foundational features of AI, particularly as it relates to the AI value chain. I strongly believe that global South nations can lead in foundational models and AI applications and AI services, as well as raw materials. And the literature is very replete where global South nations actually represent and produce north of 60 to 70% of the core minerals needed to fuel AI innovation. AI semiconductor design and AI semiconductor manufacturing and cloud infrastructure, as well as supercomputers. All of these belong to the AI value chain and are critical, absolutely critical for any nation to be a leader in this space. And I believe that global South nations have it within them, not just in terms of personnel, but the natural resources to do this. But how is it that they can implement these strong foundations? They can do so through resource optimization, through local manufacturing, through skill development, as well as through policy support. But let me laser in and let me focus on some areas, some specific sectors in which global South nations can lead for their own nation building. First, education. That AI can revolutionize learning, providing personalized learning, remote access, intelligent tutoring, as well as gap analysis. AI can also revolutionize healthcare, where they lead to greater disease detection and patient care and medical research, as well as healthcare access. But in addition to that, AI can help us to enhance global medicine, providing personalized treatment and remote diagnostics, and lead to greater drug discovery, where instead of waiting 17 years to provide medications to individuals, that it will take much less time through the use of AI. But you can also transform our global health equity issues, where oftentimes in global South nations, oftentimes strapped for resources, where AI can help with resource distribution and disease surveillance and remote diagnostics, as well as health education. AI can also help the global south in agriculture, leading to precision farming and automated harvesting, as well as resource management. AI can also be used for economic empowerment, and I want to focus in on the macro impact, where there have been several studies and some leading indicators have already shown that it can help with microfinancing, as well as skills matching, as well as just increasing market access that our global economy now is no longer just local; it's more so global. And this has been shown that over the past few years, that there has been a significant uptick in AI companies amongst global South nations, whether it be in Africa or Asia or Latin America and the Caribbean, much more so than in the global North. But there are some micro impacts as well, that these can have significant local impact in terms of AI can provide significant key market analysis. It can lead to, greater reach so that particularly global South nations that are geographically located, strategically located, can provide supply chain optimization and logistics, as well as increasing in financial inclusion, as well as can lead to customer service, particularly in the BPO sector, that instead of actually forcing global South nations to adopt a lifestyle that can oftentimes seem quite stressful and demeaning in some ways, that AI can actually help to support these as well. AI can help with environmental sustainability. That there's been some, excellent work showing that AI can help with climate modeling. Oftentimes, what happens is that global South nations oftentimes suffer the brunt of many of the excessive usage of energy, but perhaps we can use AI for greater use of AI modeling, resource management, and it can help to protect our biodiversity, and hopefully it can lead to cleaner energy solutions, particularly in wildlife tracking, pollution control, as well as ocean cleanup. But particularly as well, and it's been shown that AI can help with disaster management, providing early warning systems and resource allocation and damage assessment, as well as optimizing the recovery plan. But it can also help not just during disasters, but also in nation creation, such as urban planning, where AI has led to many smart cities, as well as increasing green spaces, as well as leading to greater optimization of transportation, having more intelligent traffic management. It can also provide some social services, increasing human rights advocacy through, robust data collection and pattern recognitions of how systems impact societies, as well as awareness about different forms of campaigns. AI can lead to clean energy transition, particularly in the global south, where they can have greater and smarter grids, and more renewable forecasting, as well as energy storage, which can be used for the country, but can potentially be used in this data and digital age. It can be used for solar optimization. It's been shown to be used for wind farm management and grid balancing and energy recycling. AI has proven that, if we were to democratize this, that in order to do this, we must have some key elements. First, we need open source initiatives, making AI tools freely available. We also need educational programs where we train underrepresented groups in AI. And, this speaks to a lot of the work that we do here at the University of Miami, as well as what we do in the global south in Latin America, and help with, establishing community tech hubs, as well as global partnerships. And so I ask you to join us in this effort to make the global south a dominant force in AI, helping the global south to shape its future, where it can be digitally native and it can intentionally create innovations with a purpose, not just trying to build a solution like how Silicon Valley has built, but we can do so through inclusive and intentional development and through ethical leadership and through continuous learning. And it speaks to the larger vision that we have, that through this larger vision, we hope that we can create AI factories and an ecosystem, almost like a flywheel, whereby we can train the next generation. We can also develop venture. We can, as well as create research and development and create new venture to spur new businesses and companies and new sectors that the global south can be dominant in. And so, with that, I thank you very much for your time and I look forward to your questions.